one of the things that everyone says about you is that you are ambidextrous. Like you can fight orthodox, southpaw. How are you able to do that? Was that something you added, or was just more of a natural thing for you?
Well, actually, it was something natural that, something that I used to do to get in. I used to get in trouble.
Okay.
My coach used to always yell at me and whatnot. You need to learn how to fight one way before you try to fight another way.
Right.
So I just be like, man, all right. So I would always get yelled at. And I remember in high school, I got in a fight.
Okay.
And I messed up my right hand. And then I was in the gym just with the left.
Because you couldn't use it.
Yeah, I couldn't use my right hand. And so he was just like, all right, since your badass ain't gonna listen to me, you might as well train you to use them both. So it was just like either, you keep getting in trouble, or they just were like, they give in and just like, all right, fuck it. You just
well, the good thing about it, Terence, actually, is that it made you have kind of like a superpower or an extra attribute, because if you're in a situation when you're fighting, you can adjust a different way. So it's almost like using both sides of your brain, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because I remember when I was hooping in high school and I broke my thumb, my left hand wasn't really that good. I learned how to write with my left hand because I couldn't do none of my homework.
Right.
So I learned how to write with my left hand. And so I was like, that was actually a blessing for me because I couldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
My left hand was like, it was dead for you ain't use your left hand, like you would be like, man, scratch your face, you be, it looked weird. But when I broke my thumb and it was like, what was that? 8-9 weeks, I taught myself how to write with it. And like you said, but you was fighting both sides. Right. So I can't come. So whatever angle I come at you, you got something for that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I saw one of my favorite fights I saw, there's a couple fights that I saw, but one of the fights that I saw with you was with Sean Porter, right? And people were saying that all they have to do is pressure you, and then that's the way to try to defeat you. I don't know if them people know what the hell they're talking about. Do y'all know? Do them people, do they know y'all? No, I don't think they know it.
Sure as hell didn't work out for Porter.
It didn't work out for him.
It didn't work out for Porter.
Because he was coming down the middle, and I think you had something in there.
Yeah, he was doing a little bit of both, little sneak attacks, try to rough me up here and there, try to box. So he was trying to mix it up. He wasn't just trying to come straight forward because, he knew we know each other real well, so he was trying to mix it up.
So here was the thing. I had an interview with Roy Jones Jr. as well, right? And this is interesting because I always think like boxers are not cool with each other. Like just be like, man, show up at the weight, man, bro. Go ahead, bro. And then y'all stand in front of each other and y'all talk crazy. But then Roy was like, man, I called him up, man, fight me, man. I mean, what you at the barbershop? Come here after you get your hair cut. We might as well fight, man. Let's just fight. And I was like, oh, I didn't know you guys talk like that.
Oh yeah, some of us do.
All right, some of y'all are cool, right?
Like for instance, me and Sean Porter, we was cool,
right? Anyway,
we was already talking about fighting and when would be the right time. Like, because to be honest, I didn't want to fight Sean. Mm-hmm. I felt like that was a fight where they wanted to gauge me and test me because of his fight with Earl. They wanted to see how I fared.
How you would do, yeah.
And I told him that, and I was just like, nah, I feel like they just using you, and he was insisting that me and him fight. So I was like, all right,
let's hey,
fuck it.
Let's fuck it. Let's get it. Now you mentioned Earl Spence Jr. This, bro. This is the fight that's rumbling in the streets. This is the fight at the barbershop. This is the fight that the fans that love boxing want to see. I hear, I might not be right, but I hear that now it could possibly happen.
Oh, definitely.
I think the stars are starting to kind of line up. Do you think this would be one of those fights that will, really just solidify who you are?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I feel like, this is the fight where it leaves no doubt or no questioning or any whatsoever about Terence Crawford and, his skills, his career or anything. It just leave it all to rest.
Now, right now, so if y'all if you guys get this fight done, which we gonna talk this into a manifestation. This fight will happen because the fans love it, and y'all two are both the best of the best at your weight class right now, and that's the only way for us to get the truth to what it is. Right now, Errol Spence Jr., who seems slightly crazy, don't it seem like he kind of wild or something? Am I bugging? It is a little wild a little bit. You seem more reserved, like you got, your head together. Earl might be in the strip club, drive a car 150 miles an hour, flip out of it, and still go to Whole Foods. I don't know. I don't see that in your future. I see like you keep yourself together. Cool. How do you prepare for a fight like this? Like, let's say if you were fighting in November now, what would the training be like being you lock in on your diet, you stay away from everybody, we go away in the mountains like Rocky, and how does that work?
Well, I leave and go to Colorado Springs. That's where, I have a house at. That's where my training camps be at. And I just lock in, and do what I do best. And that's just prepare myself to the best of my ability.
Right.
I don't too much worry about another fighter because I always said, if I'm in the best shape, mentally, physically, and emotionally, can't nobody beat me.
Man, let me tell you something, boy. Is that boy confident? Earl, can you hear me? Earl, I know Earl Spence Jr. out there. Earl Spence, bro. Hey, man, come. Hey, get out them clubs. All right, go home, have some protein shakes, run, do what you need to do, and I want this to happen. I don't want no shenanigans. Everybody get their money, because a lot of times it be over money. Everybody get what they need. Do this for the fans. Do this for the culture. This is what top billing is about, bro. You top billing to me, bro. You top billing on so many levels. It's your work ethic. It makes you top billing. It is what you're doing for boxing, man. I feel like you guys are bringing it back. Like, I'm an old school kind of guy, like where, I came up with, the Tommy Hearns and the Sugar Ray Leonards and Roberto Duran's, Benitez, like all these old school welterweight cats that was bananas, Marvin Hagler. I love the art of boxing, and it is a beautiful skill. It's very masterful if you're really good at it, because it's like chess. It's a lot of like counters and this, that, and the other. You do this, I could do that, smother that. So I'm a huge fan of that. In this era, you have a quality that is very, to me, similar to Tommy Hearns. The power of delivering a punch right when you need it, and the speed of like a Sugar Ray, all compact in one person. How were you able to be able to get to the point where your punches are that powerful? I always wanted to ask that question. How do you get strong enough to be a power puncher like that? Honestly,
I think most of it is just natural. I always been strong ever since I was a little kid.
Right.
I think it was just more so of my competitive nature, because I was so small. I just always felt like I had to do something.